What is going on, guys? It is BenQ here, back with a new guide. Now, in this guide, we'll be talking about a few different fighting scenarios. So guys, let's get to it. So, this first fighting example, I want to quickly mention what I'll usually do in most scenarios after injuring an opponent. I pushed up on this player and he started taking shots at my materials. So I backed up and connected my materials to the ones behind me. That way I cannot get shot down. In no situation you want to build ramps above 3 stories unless you're building towards a pile of materials or you're having a build off against another opponent. If you've got bouncers, you might get away with it. Although if you're out in the open, building too high will result in having a pretty bad time. Now, after injuring this player, going for the bouncer play is usually what I'll do in most cases. Most of the time, I'll save my bouncers for moments like these, where I need to use them to get closer to my opponents quickly. If I have 3 bouncers, I'll usually use 2 of them to get closer, and then the last one will usually be saved in case I'm having a build off and I start getting shot down. Try to be efficient when using bouncers. Don't use them blindly because I'll be honest, bouncers are super powerful when you can use them properly. The earlier you start to realize good times to use them, the more OP you'll be in fights. So this next tip is a quick tip on fighting opponents from above. Now, you guys know I've mentioned the method of building a roof over top of you and then editing up once your opponent needs to reload. Well, in this situation, I jumped off to my right and started taking shots. This allowed me to get a head start when taking shots back because my opponent was still slightly focused on my materials. The moment I took shots, he had to readjust his crosshair for that split second. Now, the reason I'm showing you guys this example is because it's good to use in early game situations when you've got low materials. I had a decent amount of materials, but say you've only got enough for a few stairs and walls, and you're wondering what you can do if you're in the same situation. Well, you do this. Jump to the right and not to the left, because by jumping to the right, you have that right side peeking angle which will allow you to line up your shot much quicker. If you're dealing most of the damage, then continue taking your shots. If your opponent deals most of the damage, then your next option is to back away, because remember, you've got those extra mats you saved to get yourself away. Now, once again, this will usually be done around super early game, while you're still gathering weapons. Yes, your opponent has the high ground in this situation, but it's one of the best ways of fighting back when you have no materials. So make sure you guys take note if you're in a similar situation. Now, in this next situation, I built towards this opponent, and as I built, you can see I placed a floor over top of me. I do this often to avoid getting shot from above, and it also gives me time to think about what I want to do next. You want to add that floor to the upper part of your opponent's walls, that way it doesn't give him any way to peek over. This also gives you more room to work with because you don't block yourself in by placing it at the bottom of his wall. I then jumped over to my right and he once again got above me. So once again, I placed down that floor above me and went for the push again. Went to my opponent's left and placed down a ramp. I then instantly placed a wall in front of my opponent, that way he cannot take shots at the moment I expose myself. The moment I placed down the wall, I added a floor to jump on and then extended my ramps over top of my opponent, that way he's not able to build himself up. Held the high ground and got off a shot onto this player. I then went for the aggressive play because I don't want him to get away and heal. Now, I want to quickly mention why I placed down a floor right after the wall. This floor allows me to always be able to get myself up onto my stairs. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because I notice sometimes when I build off against other players, they get stuck under their stairs when building off. A lot of the times is because they don't add that floor first. So if you notice yourself getting stuck under your stairs when you're building, check if you're adding a floor before the staircase. That's usually the issue in most cases. Now, this last quick tip is one I've mentioned a while ago, just in case some of you guys are newer to the channel, you might not know this. So, say you have a C4 and your opponent's inside a box. Place that C4 down right over top of your opponent's roof and then shoot out the roof. The C4 will fall right inside and you'll be able to switch right back to the C4 to detonate it. It's a super effective way of using it when your opponent decides to box himself in. Once again, guys, I've explained this in one of my older guides, which is why I don't want to get super in depth with it. Well, guys, that's it for this guide, and a like and a sub will be greatly appreciated as it does help me out a lot. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and hope you have a great rest of your day and night, and I'll see you on the next one.